Hi there. As you know, I'm from Brazil, and there are a lot of English schools spread across the country. People spend a significant amount of money in order to learn English, but unfortunately, most of them still can't speak English even after years of studying. And as you imagine, this creates a lot of frustration. And I often ask myself, why do we have so many English schools and people still can't speak English? I have my own theories, but we won't talk about them today. The idea of this video is to talk about cultural aspects and how they impact how we learn and how we use English as English students. So, as a result of this very hard reality when it comes to learning English in Brazil, there is this huge desire, in people's hearts to be able to speak English and also to transform their lives through learning English and using English. But at the same time, there is frustration. People spend their money, paying for English schools, but they still struggle to speak. So there's a lot of feelings, the desire to speak, the frustration of not being able to speak, and this results in a very particular environment. And all of this mixed with a very strong cultural aspect, which is Brazil is a country rooted in division. The poor versus the rich, the employee versus the entrepreneur. So there's a lot of division, and this results in, envy, jealousy, a lot of bad feelings. And I'm not blaming people, neither saying that everyone acts like this. That's not what I'm saying. But this cultural aspect exists, and it's very strong if you're learning a language here. So for those that are starting or even paying for English classes, it's kind of frustrating to see people that are already with a better level of English, being able to use the language. And for those who are kind of in the intermediate level, it's hard for them as well to use the language without being judged by people. So I call it the invisible rule. For me, it's really like an invisible rule that punishes those who dare to rise above and to do things that look impossible for the majority of people. It reminds people that they can also do better. What else? I am starting to realize that fear is also a very strong part of Brazilian culture. And I believe we live under so much fear, fear of even trying something new. Like if you were not allowed to rise or to grow, that if you do that, you're going to be punished. And it happens in certain areas or aspects of our life living here. Maybe that's why, this is in our mindset. I don't know. I'm just exploring things that I believe are the root of this issue that we face. So this fear affects all of the areas of our life, including learning English, learning a new language. And why am I sharing this? Because maybe as a non-native speaker, you also live in a country where English is not commonly spoken, or maybe you feel punished by trying to speak English. People around you do not give you the support you expect to speak the language. Sometimes because they don't have the resources to help you. When I started to use English Brazil, I realized that I couldn't wait for people to support me. I needed to create my own environment, to change my circumstances, and to be able to speak and to use everything I was learning, because I was learning so many things and I needed to open my mouth and practice my English. So I'm going to share 4 secrets that you can use no matter where you live to keep improving your English even if people do not support you. Firstly, speak anyway. Even if people laugh, this is your English journey. So we got to be ready to deal with the consequences of rising above, of trying something new, of learning a new language, of taking the courage to speak, because you will be punished. Even if you are in a group of English students, because sometimes they have fear or they are shy and they will punish you. It's not because they're bad. It's just because they're not aware of this. and they are projecting their fears and their desires to the person who is taking the courage to do that. So that's why speaking English is not only about grammar, vocabulary. It involves your mindset and your ability to have resilience to keep trying to keep doing. So every day work on your mindset, by literally training your mind to go against the grain. So no matter where you are or who's around you, your mind will be so strong that you will be able to speak anyway, even if people do not support you. Secondly, find your tribe. Look for people that are also learning English, that are also taking the courage to speak. You will feel less alone. And you have internet, so you can use internet. There's no excuse anymore when it comes to finding groups to support your English goals. Now, we spend so much time online watching so many things. Why not using this time to watch things in English, to find people to have meetings in English with you, to practice with you. Thirdly, protect your dream. Don't share everything with people who don't understand your goal. Maybe your goal is to use English to travel abroad, to get a new job, and to earn in a different currency, or to move abroad or make different connections. And sometimes, if you share this goal with people that are close to you and you think they will accept this or support it just because they're close to you, the chances are you will get disappointed. Whatever your goal is, keep it to yourself until you actually achieve that goal or until you actually accomplish it. Also, there's something important here. When you overshare things that are still in progress, your mind understands you have accomplished that goal. So, beyond being vulnerable to people's negative energy, you create an illusion for yourself that you have already done that when you are still working on that goal. For example, if you say everyone you know that this year, let's say 2027, you're going to study English, so you're going to speak the language, and then you're going to move abroad, you're going to go get another job. If you start to say these things, your brain gives you a small sense of achievement just by saying. So instead of talking about your goals with English, focus on actually doing the job to achieve your goals. People will know when you do that. Everyone will see. So there's no reason to overshare. And finally, grow in silence, which is very similar to the what I just said. You can talk to the mirror, so you can practice your English by talking to the mirror, by talking to a camera like I'm doing here, or talking to someone that you really trust. And you can keep practicing this way until you are in an environment that will give you the support to practice, until you start working, in English, for example, and you'll be obligated to use your English every day. But until these moments come, you can practice these ways I mentioned here, and you will be growing in silence. If you are in a place where speaking English feels wrong, remember it's not you, it's the room. So change the room. I have learned that no matter where I am, even if I am in a place where people don't speak English or they punish me if I try to speak, I have learned that I can open my computer and have my own word, the word that I created here. And in my own word, people not only speak English, but they support my goal of speaking English, of using the language without fear. And most importantly, they are closer to the type of person that I want to become. I believe your English also deserves space to grow. So if you're looking for different rooms where English feels natural, where you're not judged by making mistakes, this YouTube channel is your place. You will see by watching my videos that my English is not perfect, but it's improving. It's getting better just because I decided to create my own environment with the sources that I have. And I would love to know what are the types of challenges that you face by trying to speak English in your country. So leave a comment below sharing where you are from and what are the challenges that you have been facing when trying to speak English. Thank you for being here, and I wish you all this success in your English journey.